Once upon a time, there was a little caterpillar called George. George liked to eat lettuce leaves.
But Sunday, a little boy, you want to put them in the jar?
Exactly. And there was a little boy who found the caterpillar eating his mummy's lettuces. Little boy thought, if mummy finds this caterpillar, she'll be very cross and she'll kill it. I think I'll save it and put it in a jar. So the little boy tore off a piece of lettuce and put the lettuce in the jar and put the caterpillar in the jar. Then he screwed on the lid but pricked some holes in the lid so that the caterpillar could breathe. Then he went to tell his mummy. Look, mummy, look, I've got a caterpillar. Ah, she said, don't bring it in here, I'm frightened. Don't worry, mummy, it won't hurt you, said the little boy. No, I don't like caterpillars, they're horrible. She said, they're all hairy. But he's in a jar, mummy, he can't hurt you, he can't get out. I don't want him here, I don't like the look of him, she said. So the little boy took the caterpillar out into the garden and hid his jar under a very large pumpkin leaf. And every day the little boy would go and look at his caterpillar and see how his caterpillar was going on. Of course, on the first day, it ate the whole of the lettuce leaf. So the little boy cut another bit of lettuce, took off the lid of the jar and dropped it in so the caterpillar would have more to eat. And every day the little boy brought the caterpillar some more lettuce leaves to eat. And although it's difficult to tell if a caterpillar's smiling, the little boy thought he was smiling. It looked like he might be smiling to say thank you. One day, the little boy went into the garden to check on his caterpillar, and the caterpillar had turned into a chrysalis. Now, chrysalis is it's a bit like a shell, not a very hard shell, but it's a sort of shell made which the caterpillar has spun, just a bit like a spider spins things, but this time it's spun it all around its own body, and it's a little bit crispy, like a dry leaf, really, but the chrysalis is wrapped around the caterpillar's body, and whilst it's inside the chrysalis, it metamorphoses.
What is that?
Metamorphosis is when
I can't see anything.
Metamorphosis is when it changes into another creature. And if you have never seen an animal metamorphose, well, we'll look at it on YouTube one of these days and see how it looks. But anyway, the caterpillar had metamorphosed gradually first of all it went into a chrysalis, and then after a few days, the little boy saw something coming out of the chrysalis because the caterpillar had metamorphosed into guess what? A butterfly. Because that's what happens to caterpillars. He became a butterfly. And the butterfly was flapping its wings inside the jar. And the boy thought the butterfly was very beautiful and also deserved to be free. So he took the lid off the jar, and the butterfly flew out and waved its wings at the little boy as if to say, thank you for saving me. And it waved its wings and waved goodbye and flew away to a flower, a big sunflower actually, in the garden, and settled on one of the golden petals because it wanted to get the nectar there. And then the little boy watched it as it flew from flower to flower, getting the nectar and pollinating them at the same time. Bye-bye, the butterfly seemed to say. Of course, you can't hear a butterfly speak, but he flapped his wings and waved at the little boy and seemed to smile. The little boy smiled. Then he went to tell his mummy and daddy that he'd let the butterfly go, and they were very pleased with him. And that's the end of the story. Now, do you have any comment on it? Do you have any comments on the story? Was it one you liked?
No, this is your story.
That's the end one anyway. Good night, Ed, little boy. You go to sleep now, my little boy.